What is up, y'all? Kyle Reedstrom, your resident real estate nerd. Wow. But Kyle Reedstrom, real estate agent, Midwest Invest Realty Group, brokered by Real. I get the question. I've gotten it before, but I got it recently. Should we finish our basement or should we not finish our basement? And I found that the results were quite shocking because, hey, I could give you my opinion, but I want to follow the stats. So I'm going to take you through the stats on what I found for Fargo, Moorhead, West Fargo market to finish or not to finish. Let's check it out. So I pulled up the good old trusty MLS here. I wanted to get some newer style Rambler houses, big Rambler one-story house, right? And I looked between 3,500 and 4,200 square feet. So big house, higher price point. I wanted within the last 25-ish years. I wanted one story, so I checked that, just Rambler style with a basement below and main floor, everything on one floor. And I looked at the last 2 years of data on the North Dakota side only, by the way. There's one criteria here, below grade unfinished area, so 1,500 square feet or more. So that's going to tell us, like, hey, this has an unfinished basement. That lower section of that 35 to 3,800 total square foot house is not finished. What I found was there were only 8 results. 8 Ramblers in the last 2 years, have closed with unfinished basements, that, larger Ramblers, like I said, 35 to 4,200 square feet. I was pretty surprised by that. I thought a lot of people opted to finish or leave their basement unfinished for future. Maybe this is more a 2-story thing, maybe not. But as far as Ramblers go, not a lot of people. Only 8 people only 8 closed deals in the last 2 years have left their Rambler basement unfinished. Okay. And you saw the price points, okay? Price range, we had one low comp at 505, but most of them were 590 to 650 for that unfinished space, Rambler with unfinished basement. Okay, on the contrary, let's look at this. Let's go down and check this box where we actually do uncheck this and do finished square footage so we make sure the basements are finished. Same region, 73. So we'd expect this to be more, but quite a difference in the amount of closed Ramblers, the same criteria, with finished basements. So this is telling me that finishing your basement is what the market wants. It's more common if you have a house that has an unfinished Rambler basement. If you're going to sell it, more people are going to see other Ramblers with finished basements. And you guys, the price points here with the similar square footage, now some of these pop over 4,000 square feet, but we get a big price variance. Okay, so we're all the way down to 600. Our top comp is up near 800, 840. Guys, again, there's a ton of different factors, locations, everything here. We're not digging into the super details on the exact house. But what I'm saying is, could your house sell more if you finish that basement? Now, here's the scenario. Let's say you built your house and you left it unfinished and your build costs about $625,000. If you get a quote to finish your basement for like 50 grand, 60, 70 grand, what I'm seeing here is price point comparable sales support to say that you will actually, it would be a good investment. You could spend $50,000 to $70,000 to finish your basement, and maybe you could sell around some of these comparable sales up here around 700, 715, up to 750 even, because you have that finished space. If you don't have that finished space, you're not touching on these. Remember, the other price points were up to about 650. You could maybe push on that with unfinished space. Let's say you bought your Rambler and you left it unfinished, or let's say you're going through a build right now for a Rambler, or you're thinking about building a Rambler, and you're like, hey, should we save the money and not finish the basement, or should we? What I'm saying is this is the comparable map for finished Ramblers with large square footage. And so wouldn't you want to put yourself in the realm of some of these properties that can be sold for quite a bit higher with finished space? And so, if you're getting those build numbers back and they're hanging around 700 or 725 with finished space over time, could it sell around 760, 780? This is showing me yes. There's a lot of comparable data out there for it. So, long story short, to finish or not to finish, in the Rambler category, one-story category, I think the jury's telling me you got to get that basement finished before you sell. Hope that helps.